everyone, I'm Ash, and today I'm going to be doing a 24-hour readathon. So I've been wanting to do this challenge for a while. I don't know, I thought it'd be fun. I follow a lot of book YouTubers and a lot of book Instagrammers, and this challenge always looks like so much fun. And I'm kind of out of commission right now because I am recovering from COVID. Yay. And I'm still feeling a little bit under the weather, so I thought, why not do it now, because I'm just laying around the house anyway. I'm not going to be doing a traditional 24-hour readathon. I will be trying to break it up 12 hours per day just so I can sleep and recover and, you know, fuel my body and make sure that I'm actually getting better from being sick. But in all of my free time, I'm still going to try and read for a full 24 hours within the next 2 days. This right here is my TBR for this challenge. We are starting off with a book that I'm already halfway through called The Pickleballers. This is a book that was not on my TBR prior to me just finding it in my local library, but I've been obsessed with pickleball this summer and I like romance novels, so I felt like this was just perfect for me to pick up, even though I'm not a big fan of sports romance. But so far, this isn't like typical sports romance that I've read, which I'm enjoying. The next book on the TBR is the final book in the Poppy War trilogy by R.F. Kuang. When I do the summary for this book, I'm going to be doing the summary of the first book. I will be doing like a spoiler section for any of my reviews on this book just because it is the third book in the series. First book was a little bit slow for me. Second book I devoured in like 5 days and really enjoyed, so I'm very excited to hop into this third book and finish the trilogy. Now, I'm a slow reader and I am sick right now, so with the heft of The Burning God, I don't know if I will get to this third book, but I wanted to have a third book just in case. This is The Lioness of Boston by Emily Franklin. I went to college in Boston, Massachusetts, and I visited the Isabella Stewart Gardner Museum a couple of times when I was in school, and it really fascinates me, and I don't know much about the story of Isabella Stewart Gardner herself, so I picked this up within my last couple of weeks in Boston, Massachusetts at the, wow, the sick brain fog is getting to me. Beacon Hill Bookstore. I picked this up at the Beacon Hill Bookstore. In a bookstore crawl that my partner and I did in my last few weeks living in Boston, so I'm excited to read this. Hopefully I get to it in this challenge. It is almost 10 o'clock. I'm gonna try and start at 10 o'clock on the dot and read until 10 p.m. tonight. We will see if that happens. I still have to make myself a filling breakfast, so I am ready for this challenge. But needless to say, I'm gonna go make myself breakfast, get myself set up in a comfy spot around my house, and get started.
Pickleballers follows Meg Bloomberg, who just got dumped by her husband of 2 years via a Home Depot receipt. And when her best friend Annie teaches her the game of pickleball and she meets a man named Ethan Fine, her life turns upside down.
So we're about an hour and 45 done. I have read whatever 243 minus 185 pages is. I'll do the math and I'll edit it in here. Finished the lob, now I'm at the backspin. The male main character in this book, Ethan, infuriates me. He has made me mad since like his second appearance, and that's honestly like what's bringing down. But like, he's just not likable to me. He seems so pretentious. It's just like, I don't know. I'm trying not to spoil anything, but he just makes me so angry with his actions and how he and again, though this book isn't in first person, it is told from the female main character's perspective, and she's not my favorite either. However, I understand what she's going through. But anywho, at the rate that I'm reading, it's probably gonna take me another hour or two to finish this up. Like I said, slow reader. Let's just, let's keep it going. Rooster, goat of this entire book. We love Rooster. I decided I want to do a spoiler section of this video. I wasn't gonna do it. I was just gonna try and keep everything spoiler free, but I have to talk about this. I'm having so much fun with this book. Like, the pickleball plot, I'm not a big fan of the romance plot, but the pickleball plot is like, I'm eating it up. But no way that there are two people named Michael Edmonds that look exactly the same. That's just lazy writing. Like, you could have made him had a twin. Or just like made Michael Edmonds the guy that it was leading him up to be. Cause like, I'm upset with this narrative choice. I'm really upset. And like, this book keeps volleying back and forth, if you will, with like, is Ethan a good guy or a bad guy? And it's just like, that's making me angry. But this whole Michael Edmonds, I thought it was gonna be cut and dry, but there's two of them. There's two of them. How is there two of them? How do they look exactly alike? That would not happen in real life. I cannot suspend my disbelief. Okay. I'm gonna keep reading. Like, I crashed out way too soon. There aren't two Michael Edmonds. The Michael Edmonds from Lakeview just went by Michael because his name was Dave, and there was already 6 Daves. Uh-oh. I think that's still stupid, but I'm not as mad as I was. A little bit over 3 hours in. I have not finished, but I am hungry, so it's lunchtime. We are a little over 5 hours in, and I just finished The Pickleballers. I keep calling it The Pickleballers. I just finished Pickleballers by Ilana Long. I ended up really enjoying this book. It is not one of my favorite, like, romances I've read. Honestly, I enjoyed the pickleball plot a lot more than the romance in this, but then I ended up really enjoying the romance by the end. It was really hard to love Ethan at first, and honestly, throughout the first half of the book, I wasn't a big fan of Meg either. But I ended up really liking both characters. I thought the side characters were really great in this. Annie was probably my favorite character in the entire book. I have to think on it a little bit, but I think I'm between 3.5 and 4 stars for this. Probably leaning more towards, like, rating it 3.5 on Storygraph and then, like, 4 stars on Goodreads. Because I did really enjoy it. However, I've been getting pickier with my ratings recently. Alright, one book down. I'm gonna go change my reading setup to a place where I can be more horizontal and cuddle up a little bit more, and we're gonna dive into some fantasy with, I forget the name of the book, with The Burning God by R.F. Kuang. You know what, let's just go.
The Poppy War trilogy follows war orphan Rin at a time where her abusive family is about to marry her off for money. In turn, she decides to take on the toughest test in the entire empire to try and get into Sinigard, the university for soldiers.
I'm getting very tired, so I'm going to make myself a chai and pop in a quick lazy dinner into the oven, aka frozen pizza, to get my energy back up. Because we got 5.5 hours to go. I also got to charge that thing because it's dying, and so is this thing. So, little mini break. We're back in the OG spot, mainly so I can plug in my devices and also keep an eye on the kitchen because I have food in the oven. But I've made myself a chai as a little pick-me-up. It's really good. But I thought I'd take this opportunity to kind of update you on my progress. I'm not that far in, despite how long it's been since I've started this book. I have a hard time starting books. I don't read fast. I always have to go back and reread, and fantasy is really hard for me, and R.F. Kuang's writing style is really hard for me to just kind of jump right into. Once I'm going, like once I'm past page 100, I'm like going. But it takes me a while to get there. That being said, I do not know if we'll be getting to her in this challenge, but we're still gonna try our best. But I'm gonna keep chugging away and hope for the best here. About 2 hours left for the night. I'm admittedly getting very tired, but I am 100 pages in. I have many thoughts right now. I'm hoping to get, like, with this, the piece I'm reading at right now, at least like 50 more pages in by the end of the night. We'll see. As much as Kate can get on my nerves, like really, really get on my nerves, he is so much better in this anchored pair than Rin is. Like, Rin does, like, only thinks of how he feels after the fact, whereas Kate always thinks about how she feels, like, constantly. And it's just like, I know, like, all of Rin's character is only ever thinking about herself and, like, she's the center of her own world, but, like, girl. Look, I don't care how evil, not evil she is. Su Daji, the Empress, fave character. I'm on page 141 and she's back and I'm like, finally, because things are a lot of the time really cool when she's here. So the timer for tonight, I have gotten that far. I've read 155 pages in The Burning God. Overall, I read a total of 330 pages today. Tomorrow I think I can do more. It's getting pretty good in The Burning God, so I think I'm gonna just rip through that. But yeah, I will see you tomorrow for the next 12 hours. It is a new day. I have a microphone now. I don't know if it's working, but we're gonna try it anyway. It was not working. I look so silly holding my little microphone like this as if it was working. It was not working. I get it to work later. I don't think the audio quality is great, but I do get it to work. This is my bad for buying a less than $10 microphone off Amazon and expecting it to work. I overslept today and also had to do some work stuff before restarting this challenge, so it is already past 11 a.m. But we're still gonna do 12 hours today. I will get my caffeine in my system immediately. I have a cup of tea waiting for me right now. The goal for today is to finish The Burning God. With the piece I was reading at yesterday, that is nowhere near possible because I have about 500 pages left in this, a little under 500 pages. But I believe in myself. I believe in my ability to microwave the leftovers in my fridge instead of cook so I can spend less time on the meal portion of this. And honestly, it started getting like really, really good and I started getting really into it. By the time I finished up last night, I almost kept reading, but I was like, let me sleep, and then I ended up watching the New Heights podcast until past midnight instead. Let's get cozy, let's start reading, and let's see how much of this I can finish in 12 hours. I agree with Rin's goals, right? I think a shaman army would be so sick, like, just fantasy-wise, but, like, in my heart of hearts, I'm with Kate. Like, she tortures him. She tortures that poor little smart boy every single day because she calls the Phoenix, and he doesn't want that to happen to other people, and I don't want that to happen to other people, but, like, for the fantasy I do. Like, you know, I'm so torn, but I'm fully on Kate's side, but I still low-key want Rin to do what she wants to do because that would make the book cooler. Maybe I'm thinking too much into this, but I do not trust Venka one bit. I'm at the point where they just got bombed by the Republican Army, and Rin fought Nessa, and Venka said that Nessa was, like, severely injured, and Venka is miraculously unhurt after this attack. She's definitely working for the Republican Army, and if I'm wrong about this, I'm gonna be so shocked. I made another try as a pick-me-up. Quarters of the way through, and about my timer, and about halfway through The Burning God. Here are my thoughts so far. I really love how R.F. Kuang has so much commentary in this entire series about class disparities and race disparities, not only between, like, a country itself, but a country and different countries. It is so interesting to see how she intertwines these, like, real world issues into a fantasy setting, and if you couldn't tell, I'm eating this up. 5 hours? Less than 5 hours left. I'm losing steam. This was around the time I started to lose steam yesterday. I'm just, like, getting so tired and my eyes hurt, but we're gonna keep pushing through. This past hour, not a good reading hour, but you know what? Oh well, we're gonna keep pushing. About 2.5 hours left to go. I'm on part 3 of the book. I really don't think I'm gonna finish it tonight. I could probably only read, like, another 100 pages in 2.5 hours if I'm lucky. So I'm gonna try and get through as much of part 3 as possible, and then that'll be the end of the challenge. This energy is why I'm so excited that the kike is back. General, again, Doolin raised his hand. With all due respect, could we stop effing around and get started? Yeah, that's kike energy right there. The last bit of this book is gonna be good. An hour left, so I got myself a Sprite to keep me going, to celebrate. I don't know, but almost there. We're gonna try microphone audio for this outro, and we'll see what happens. It is the day after I finished the 24-hour readathon, and here are my overall thoughts. First, let's start on my thoughts on my book choice and the books itself. So I think choosing a book that I was already halfway through was really, really smart for this challenge. I didn't really have to, like, work to get into it, and even choosing, like, a smaller book, a romance, which I usually read faster anyway, was a really, really smart move. This book was also a lot of fun to read. I ended up rating it 3.75 stars, mainly because the romance plot of it wasn't my favorite, but I really enjoyed the pickleball plot, and I enjoyed how, like, corny and campy it was in moments. By the time I got more into the book, I was like, I don't know if this book is, like, trying to be like that, and that started to annoy me a little bit.
But I did initially pick it up because I was like, oh, this book is going to be camp. I need it. I need her. So really enjoyed the Pickleballers. Really enjoyed the side characters in this book. I think I already said that, but yeah, good choice. The Burning God. If I ever do this challenge again, I definitely won't be picking a fantasy, especially a fantasy that I haven't already started like prior to the challenge. Like maybe if I was already halfway through a fantasy, yes, but starting a fantasy, especially a high fantasy like this book, no. That being said, I really enjoyed it. I love R.F. Kuang's writing, and I love the characters in The Burning God and the Poppy War trilogy as a whole. I don't want to say too much about my thoughts in the book, but I did speak on it a little bit last night. I really enjoy how R.F. Kuang throughout the entire series really plays on race discrepancies and class discrepancies in her world that she's creating in the Poppy War trilogy. It is so interesting to read and just like very relevant. I ended up getting to page 457 in this book. And I, of course, finished the I keep saying the Pickleballers. I, of course, finished Pickleballers. So overall in this challenge, I read 632 pages, a lot less than I thought I would read. I know I'm a slow reader, but honestly, throughout the challenge, I did not expect the amount of fatigue and the amount of like distraction I would have. I thought splitting it up by 2 days would make it a lot less exhausting, but I am still like completely dead by right now and I feel exhausted. As of right now, I don't think I will ever do this challenge again. However, I did have a lot of fun and I like just sitting down and being able to read all the time. That being said, reading 12 hours with no breaks, not for me. But overall, I did have a really great time doing this challenge. I'm glad that I did it. I'm glad I tried it at least once. I don't think I will ever do it again or do the full 24 hours straight, but who knows what my future holds. Anywho, if you like videos like this, if you like reading content, feel free to like this video, subscribe. I'm gonna try and post reading content on here now, question mark. But really, I just like posting videos for fun. So if you want to see fun videos that I enjoy making, then follow along. And I hope to see you next time. Bye bye.